Welcome back to part 2. So far we've gone through 5 magnificent ships and we've got 5 more to have a look at. At number 4 we have the FG class prisoner transport vessel designed by Mindglitch. Now this ship is really interesting in function. It basically holds host to 2 cell blocks as well as a very sort of interesting exterior to it. Now this ship's been updated with even the piston blocks, and we've got the name on the side. They're looking absolutely beautiful within them lights and that blue and white colour coordination. Sometimes the simple colours just like that really pay off, and you've got that sleek looking cockpit which sits over the back as well as the engine bay. So let's hop on and have a look down there and what's going on. So as we enter in, we're greeted with quite a bright sort of yellow interior as well as a very sort of realistically looking cool sort of engine bay. Everything looks like it could be some sort of massive functional engine rather than just generators thrown around the place. We've also added the details of sort of the blast doors as well as these really nice window sort of modules. And if we use this, we can drop down to the lower deck. Now we're actually in the prison cells. So this is one of the prison blocks, you could say, and each one of these is for them nasty space pirates or criminals that you're going to be catching on your transports, or maybe even the prisoners of the other faction that you take alive after a large battle, all go stored away in here and can be travelled away. Now these little spaceships are really exciting too. These are a little bit of prison transport vessels, and if we hop into one of the cockpits and we open the back door with a reverse, you can actually see the back door rotates up and you have full access to the interior. So the interior inside, where you can have your prisoners locked inside until you arrive back at here. Then you can escort them towards their cell. So both of these doors open up as well. As you can see, the ship is actually hooked up to both the doors. So if we bring it a little bit off the ground, we can actually open these doors up. So let's do piston door number 2, and we reverse that. And you can see that they've got a nice simple piston sort of operated door there, just to release your prisoners and bring them up into the hull, as well as these really nice windows that have this sort of shaping on the outside. Something I really want to do on my own ships. Now if we move on to the blue block, the blue cell block, we've got some more prison cells. Now this is quite an interesting sort of area. These are like beds and pre-functioned areas that is made maybe a little bit of a desk. Maybe this is like the maximum security area, or this could even be the crew quarters for the actual staff that have to work here. I think it's actually probably the crew quarters by the look of it. Looks too nice to be sort of the prison cells. Now let's hover on up to the next level, and this must be level 2 of the guards sort of force. Now this is just a really interesting ship. Building sort of prison transport ships is something that's always really cool to do, and it's nice to see one on this sort of scale. So let's hop up onto here. And you can actually see we've got these little walkways between the areas as well above, maybe even little ways that prisoners could try to escape through. I just really like the sort of styling of it. And we go back over to the reactor room and the prisoner room down here. Just a really nice layout. Anyway, let's move on. Now the next ship that we have up is the Phantom class battlecruiser that's designed by Crowley. Now this is an extremely interesting ship. It has some really nice and interesting dimensions to it. Now the front really resembles one of the other ships that I've built before, and with the little rivets and the ruts and sort of like the intrusions and the bits that just break off from the design, just makes it really interesting. You can just see how he's made them grey blocks really feel like there's some sort of connector, some sort of component that's really important, as well as overlaying this area here. Now as you can see, as we get further back, this sort of design really takes its place on the engines, as well as the back of just layering up the different thicknesses of armour, as well as combining the colours, and it just creates a really interesting sort of battlecruiser design. Now this ship is made out of a mixture of heavy and light armour, and it's put in the places that I don't account. And these little struts here also act as protection layers to the captain, to the crew. As you can see, we've got the cockpit within there, and this heavy armour here is going to probably save him from quite a few missile shots. Anyway, let's enter from below in the cargo area. So let's enter through one of these nice little huts, and we're greeted with 2 of the assault crafts. So these are really nice, nimble little assault crafts with, once again, the same concept of trying to cover up as much as you can, as well as keeping a good viewport. So he's got the actual covers over the cockpits, and he's got the exit way in the back, so we can fully crew them with an assault team of probably 6 men. Now let's get walking and move to this area. Now we've got some more fighters that are based in a more sort of basic sort of format. Now you can see how they've been sort of stuck on the side and been turned around. Now this looks like a little bit of an edit of the original fighter, and it's been changed around and turned into something that looks pretty damn cool, to be asked me. Now away from the hangars, let's actually get to some more of the crew areas and more important factors of the ship. So if we head down into here, as you can see, we've got a little bit of lag. Well, that's probably due to the size of the ship and the amount of lights that are actually on and how the game performs with them. We're greeted with this extremely strange corridor, if you ask me. Now you're coming down this corridor, it feels like that scene from if you ever played Thingy Commando, whatever it's called, Republic Commando, and you go through it and then some bat takes a guy down from the sky. You're probably just talking out my ass there. You don't know what that is, but we've got more refineries plugged in, ready for action, as well as it's got an automatic repair bay that's down below. So let's head down there and actually have a look at that. So you can continue through. We've got this one very clear route through the ship, as well as these medical bays to fix up possibly wounded guys, as well as respawning them, getting them into the fight. Now as you can see, we've got this complex sort of Harry Potter style staircase, that's what I would call it anyway, that leads us into some of the different areas. Really, just really cool. It feels so much bigger as well on the inside than it looks on the outside. Let's just hover down there. We've already been down there. We'll go down one layer to the auto repair bay. I believe it's on our left here. Oh no, I'm completely in the wrong place. See, some of the ships is so complicated to get around, but they're just so cool at the same time. Wow, look at that corridor. That's a really nice sort of design. Let's have a look what's in here. And if we come up here, oh, so this is some sort of repair bay. Wow. Wow, I was struggling to actually explore all this ship before, because it's just quite complicated to get around. Well, this looks like a place where you could drive your ship in and actually have a look. Wow, that's really cool. Nice little idea, that. And then if we move back along here, let's go right to the top of the staircase and see what's up there. So I'm expecting some sort of crew quarters or something else up here. And I'm going to hop down. And then I climb up through this vast cargo containers, and we are in the bridge of the ship. Really nice. We've got also the antennas in here, and we've got the view of the deck. The view of the deck's quite obscured, and let's hop inside. And when I was messing with this ship before, it's quite nice. It's not too fast, but you'd expect that of a ship this size. But its forward acceleration is quite interesting. It's quite fast. I'll show you. Let's get the hood up. You can see how we're accelerating quite fast for a ship of this size. I'm going to probably take out the refueling dock there. The other thing I noticed was its turning radius was not that bad either. So as I take out the tower there on the right, sorry about that. Whoever works there, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a tilt up to the right so you can actually see. You can see how the turning is pretty tight for a ship of this size. But the resources that it would take to make something like this in survival would be extreme. But if you manage to make it, wow, that'd be awesome. Anyway, let's move on. In second place, we have the Valhalla C101, designed by the Dirty Wizard. Now, this ship is absolutely beautiful. The lines, the curves, it's just absolutely amazing. The shapes and the positionings of each individual module have just took time and just a great consideration for each component. And you can even see my computer loves it that much that it's decided to give it a little bit of lag. So we've got hangar bays, we've got different compartments, we've got even the bridge that overlooks the whole of the ship, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. Now let's get inside and have a look around, but first of all I'm just going to have a quick look around the back of the ship. Now the engine bay on this sort of ship are spread out really well. We've got engines underneath, engines at the back, and just look at the curves on that sort of ship. You can see the sort of angle we get in there. It's quite a fat and wide ship, but it just looks so elegant, so beautiful. Let's hop in through one of these doors. So hopefully once we're inside, the lag may slow down just a little bit. But apart from that, it's a really nice ship. So hop aboard, and we can enter through the door here. And door goes open. We enter into a little area here where we've got this nice little glass tubing, and we can open up into the next sector. Still getting quite a bit of lag. Now aboard the ship, the areas are really nicely built. You've got medical bays, you've got other areas, and they're all cut off. You can just see how they've got divides with the glass in between them. So let's head on over to this door here, and we can open this up, and you can see how we're entering one of the rear sort of storage areas. It's really nice. Wow, that's really nice for a sort of engine room sort of confirmation. You can also see what he's done here is ingeniously put welders behind the engines. So say a welder goes down, or well, not a welder, an engine goes down, the welders will automatically start repairing the engines. And I believe he's done that for some other parts of the ships as well, some of the other engines and some of the armor. So let's go further down into the hull through this deck here. Now I've turned some of the lights off. Usually these lights would be on. I'm just trying to get as much frame rate as possible. So below us you can see that we've got a hangar bay, and these fighters are absolutely beautifully developed. I mean, this whole ship is amazing. If the frame rate was just a little bit calmer, it'd just be so cool to actually walk and patrol around. So you can see we've got the ships in the lower decks below. Let's try and get in a close-up on one of them. So you can imagine with this, all these light up, it looks so much nicer. But the game's just not in a state where it can handle ships really of this size just yet. So we've got the fighters there with the different landing gears. We've got the mini machine gun turrets at the front. And we've got that nice curve, once again matching the short ship's aesthetics. Now, number one is this absolutely amazing piece of engineering as well as beauty. It just looks so beautiful. This is the RMV Aggravator by Damien, and it's absolutely amazing. Just the shape, the size, the cuts, and the leveling of the different armor components just makes it such a beautiful ship to look at. The concept behind this ship is a torpedo sort of base ship, and you can just see that the torpedoes are stored in them end caps over there that I'll show you shortly. You've also got missiles hidden within the deck of the ship. Just so nice how the armor's been layered up, and it's sort of like gives us this sort of sword effect, you could even say. Just really nice how the armor's laid upon each other, and we've got this cut back into the ship here, and the thrusters have just been hidden so beautifully within the design. We move up here, we've got the torpedoes that have been mounted on the side, gravity driven, extremely dangerous from what I've heard, but we'll have a look at them shortly. And now at the back we've got the rear observation deck, as well as a small hangar for the small ships to come dock with the Aggravator. Absolutely beautiful. I'm absolutely in love with this ship. And we'll hop aboard here and we'll crawl inside through the airlock. So we've got this basic sort of reactor storage area, and it brings us up to one of the main decks. Now this is the one thing that I'm not too fan of this ship, is how the corridors are so straight and precise. I mean, it looks really nice in some areas, but in a tactical sense, if someone gets aboard, it's going to be a nightmare for your crew to contain them. So we're at the rear observation deck, and you've got this lovely sort of bubbly glass sort of field where you've got this amazing field of view. You can just see around exactly what's going on, perfect for that sort of ship. This thing also handles like an absolute dream that I'm going to show you when I get into the cockpit. It's just one of the best sort of collections of looks, speed, agility, and a gravity-driven torpedo. So we've got this hull here that's probably waiting a bit further development. We could have anything, we could have crew cabins and all sorts of things here, but it's really just to save space and get them torpedoes downrange. As you can see, we're at the front of the ship now, and we have the light that just leads onto the corridor out the front. Just a well-lit area that obviously you could fill with whatever you want of your choice. It leaves you with options, and that's what I like as well, especially when you get in a ship to work with off the workshop. So now let's head up into the bridge and command center of this ship. Hang on, took the wrong lift, didn't I? Damn it, I always take the wrong lift. Let's go down first. And okay, so we've got the gyroscope room. Really nice, really simple layout, using the hull of the ship. The thing with this ship, it looks absolutely beautiful on the outside, but we need an interior designer just to check out the interior area. We've got some med bays and so on, and we've got another wide open corridor. But apart from that, this ship is absolutely beautiful. It just needs a little bit more of an interior attention. So let's go back up to the top and head back upstairs. I can see why the interiors have been cut out though. It's purely for that weight saving, so you've got more of an agile ship. Like, this is a ship that you could take into battle and win a battle with, rather than a ship that you take in more of a role play scenario. So we're up here onto the command center. So this is where you'd be sitting to actually command and battle this ship. So let's power this thing up and get it into some action. Now it just handles so nice. It's got a bit of a slow acceleration, but it turns and handles like a dream. You can just see the rotation we get in here, as well as the adjustment. I don't want to hit the asteroid. And let's just tilt that around, and I'll show you some of the other features of this ship. So as you can see here, we've got crew gravity that can be turned obviously on and off. So if you're in a battle, you don't want gravity weapons being affected, drop down here. We've got the port torpedo and we've got the starboard torpedo. Both really nice combination of weapons. So let's get off that menu and get back into position, and let's launch one of these torpedoes. Let's launch this one first. So port torpedo, and we're going to switch that off. Okay, we've got everything ready. Stick that on. That torpedo is now ready and primed, and the torpedo's away. Just look at that. Wow, beautiful. See, when you're launching the torpedoes, it's also important to turn your crew gravity off, so the gravity doesn't actually affect the torpedoes when you're launching them. But let's bring this thing around, because it's quite an agile ship, and we'll actually fire one at an asteroid and see what the sort of damage is we're going to get. Now, just look at that turning radius. For a ship this size, it's beautiful, and we're already up at 26 meters a second, and we can just bring it into a nice curling position. This is truly a battleship that you'd want to fight against with your friends. And bring that around, just line it up with that asteroid, and disable my inertia dampers. And we're in line, inertia dampers disabled, and we need to launch the other torpedo. That's already been launched, that's on. Torpedo away. Hold on, what's happened to the torpedo? It's fallen off. That was my fault. I accidentally launched it by mistake. But by far, this was one of my favourite designs. Maybe a little bit of colour to finish this bad boy off, and it'd be absolutely perfect. Look at that evasion. Oh, look at that evasion. That is badass evasion there. Can we evade it, or are we going to still collide? Oh, come on, resist. Bring the nose down. Maybe just slip it under the asteroid. Oh no, it's too late. We've had a minor collision, but we're all good. We're all good. It's not caused too much damage. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And I would love to hear what your favourite ship was out of these collection. And I'll see you next time.